Hello there. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for Europe. Relatively quiet story at the moment. We had some extreme heat through the eastern Mediterranean in recent days. That's eased and it's quite windy from the north, and you can actually see that there's a little more cloud generally, but on the whole, largely fine and quiet. You can see where the rain is, and that's going to be affecting Barcelona and down through the Balearics as well, and that's drifting its way steadily eastwards. It might move towards Corsica and Sardinia. Few scattered showers across Turkey. As I say, it's windy here as well, and those temperatures easing away. But it's a relatively quiet story generally through the Mediterranean, away from those sharp showers, and it's a pleasant, mild feel moving its way up through France towards the Low Countries and into northern Germany. High teens, low 20s. Not bad really for this time of year. We'll see some wetter weather pushing into Scandinavia, but it's showery in nature and on the whole not too bad. So those showers drifting their way a little bit further east as we go into the start of the weekend, and a few showers moving out of Poland down towards Vienna in Austria. So let's take a look at some of the city forecasts in a little more detail. The dry, settled theme is set to continue for many, despite some isolated showers around on Monday, and temperatures still into the mid to high teens for London and Paris. Those showers will ease in Vienna to more sunshine into next week. Hello then. Let's take a look at the forecast for North America. In comparison to where we were a week ago, it's a much quieter weather story to tell. As you can see from the satellite picture, not that much in the way of action. A few shower clouds across the southern Rockies. This is a system moving through the Great Lakes, which could be of interest as it pushes its way steadily south and east. A northerly flow will kick in, so we'll see the first cold snap for the time of year with temperatures below the average. Now I'll come back to that in just a moment. Some showers, but as you can see, a good deal of dry weather across Florida and into Texas. Now along the west coast again, it's largely fine and settled here too. Temperatures in Vancouver, pleasant low 70s. Similar story as we move down through that northern California coastline. A little bit warmer into Los Angeles with 80 Fahrenheit the high, 92 into Vegas, but it will be dry, settled and sunny over the next few days. Now across the eastern seaboard, yes, we've got that weather front still likely to push its way in from the Great Lakes, that colder air sitting in tucked in behind, expected to arrive. So temperatures in New York into the 70s, it's fine, it's settled. That extends down into Tennessee, into Georgia. Look at Florida, dry and fine here as well. So Montreal will see that rain clear and the drop in temperature starts to take hold. It's going to get colder still over the next few days. Hello there. A forecast for Mexico, Central America and the Caribbean all coming up shortly. First of all, let's start off with what's happening in South America. Satellite picture is showing the real mass of heavy rain that we're seeing at the moment moving its way steadily northwards through Uruguay and also into southeast Brazil. It's also going to be accompanied by gusts of winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. So that could certainly have an impact here. Now, north of that, we've got some sharper showers through Venezuela, Colombia, also into West Brazil. Look at the brighter colours denoting the intensity of that rainfall across southeast Brazil. So once the rain arrives, some of it really quite intense indeed. It's going to gradually drift towards Rio de Janeiro over the next few days. Behind that weather front though, cooler air starting to kick in for a time. Some wet and windy weather into the southern tip of Chile. So the rain arrives to Rio perhaps on Monday, cooler into Buenos Aires for a time. Temperatures then recovering back into the low 20s, but that's still a little bit below par for the time of year. Sharp showers into Mexico and down into Central America. Some sharp showers along the Caribbean. We're keeping a close eye on this circulation of showers here. It may well develop into a tropical depression over the next 4 or 5 days or so. So we're keeping a close eye certainly on that one. It will stay pretty unsettled over the next few days. Some of those showers really quite intense, particularly for San Jose. Hello there. A forecast for the Middle East coming up in just a moment. But first of all, let's start off in Africa, where the satellite picture obviously picking up the shower cloud, but it's only telling one part of the story. To the north of that, we've got some stronger winds and some lifted dust through the Sahara and perhaps into North Africa. And to the south of that, we've got some extreme heat across parts of Mozambique in particular over the next few days. Our showers, some of them heavy across the Gulf of Guinea out towards West Africa, and we're also picking up some sharper showers through the Ethiopian highlands as well. So that's the general story. Let's take a look at the city forecast. There's that sunshine in Cape Town, but look at the temperatures in Maputo. We're looking perhaps into the mid to high 30s over the next few days. That is really quite extreme. We're also picking up that lifted dust a bit on the breezy side, and that's going to have an impact in Casablanca as well. Now, through the Middle East, it looks likely that we will see a bit of a shamal here. Only a light shamal, so some lifted dust and poor visibility across the Caucasus over towards northern Iran. We've still got that heat as well. Further south, it's a dry, settled picture. There'll be a lot of sunshine out there, but those temperatures certainly more comfortable in comparison to where they were just a few weeks ago. So here's our city forecast in a little more detailed. Dry, settled and sunny for many. That's it. Take care. Hello there. Despite the monsoon rains officially being in retreat, there's still some heavy rainfall to talk about across South Asia. In fact, we've got amber weather warnings expected to be upgraded to red across parts of Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And it's this massive cloud here. So some very heavy rainfall likely. That could lead to some localised flash flooding, certainly. It's also going to be affecting the foothills of the Himalayas over towards Nepal too. I'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's move now to Central Asia, where just recently things have modulated in terms of the temperature. We've seen some cold weather across parts of Kazakhstan, but those temperatures, as you can see, back up into the low 20s. The cooler air set to return, not quite as extreme as we were around a week ago. There's a good deal of dry weather generally across Central Asia. Some shower cloud through the foothills of the mountains here, and to Pakistan it's dry and settled. There's that wet weather I've already talked about in detail. Down to the south across the Kerala coastline, and there will be a few scattered showers, but not really amounting to too much, and some of the sharper showers moving in through the Bay of Bengal. A drier story perhaps, though, through Bangladesh and into Myanmar in comparison to this time last week. Here's our city forecast then. As you can see, plenty of showers still expected towards Colombo. It looks likely that that colder air will return for Nur Sultan and Kazakhstan, but not as extreme as it has been. Hello there. Forecast for Australia and New Zealand coming up shortly, but first of all, let's start off in Asia. Yes, we've got our usual shower cloud being picked up on the satellite picture, but the talking point once again is further north, and we've seen some extreme heat across northern and eastern China, which has eased. So we've had some record-breaking heat for this time of year, but those temperatures going from 40s down into the low 20s in Shanghai through the course of Friday. Some heavy rain slowly pulling its way away from the east of Vietnam, but still pretty windy with it as well. To the south of that weather front and that cooler air in China, we've got some showers, not as extensive as they have been in Vietnam and North Thailand, and also in the Philippines, slightly quieter rainfall expected. Here's our city forecast over the next few days. We're still likely to see plenty of showers. That cooler story continues for the second half of the weekend into northern China. Now we're on track for the wettest year on record across Sydney. There's more wet weather to come on Saturday. The story will improve here. It's windy with it as well. Western Australia, fine and quiet. A large area of high pressure keeping things quiet for Saturday. It's been bitterly cold in New Zealand of late. However, the weather front that's bringing the rain into Sydney will gradually bring some heavy rain and gales into the South Island of New Zealand for the second half of the weekend. Here's the city forecast as we go through the week ahead.